how to talk to users in 3 simple steps. So my background, went to U of T, I did user research and user testing at Sciencescape, co-founded SteadfastBeta. We're a user research company. We help you figure out what your customers want. Okay, so 3 things to cover in 5 minutes. 1, how do I get a user? It's very important. None of the rest matters if you can't do that first step. How should I talk to them? And then when should I do this? So let's get started. So the first, before we even get into this, like, you want to be in the right frame of mind, right? So, you know, a lot of startup founders, you're probably really smart, you're probably really creative, but before you go and talk to that user, this is probably not the way you want to approach it. So, you know what your users want. You have 12 months of features fully scoped out. For those of you that watch South Park, we know that Kanye is the voice of a generation. It's probably not the right approach, right? You really want to go out like this smart guy over here, right? Like, you know, exploration, testing, let's look at the evidence and construct some theories. So I think there's good evidence to suggest that I have a good idea to help people. That's a good way to approach it. You want to know, how do people experience the problem that I'm trying to solve? How can I best deliver value to my users? Like, that's the way you want to come into this. So set yourself up for success right here. Don't be Kanye, very smart, very brilliant. Be like Neil deGrasse Tyson, exploration, cool. Okay, so how do I get users to talk to me? I see a lot of these emails, mostly because I wrote most of them. And these are horrible because nobody's actually going to read them. They're going to be upset that you sent it to them. Because look at that. Like, I actually wrote this last night at about 2 a.m. I have no idea what it says. And you should feel bad if you send that to people who aren't your friends, or who, even if they are your friends, really. So what you really want to do is focus on what the end user, the person you're trying to reach, like, what are they going to take away from this? How can you make this really easy for them? So this is a little bit better. I think you can get it down to about 3 sentences. So this is great if you're doing like a B2B business. You need to reach out to people. Often email is a good way to do this. You can do this with Facebook Messenger if it's like a customer app or whatever. So the first sentence, I think you want to focus on who you are and what you do. So if you can't get that down to 1 sentence, go to like Starbucks and just try and tell people what your app is or what your product is until you finally get it into like 5 words. And definitely tell them your name. Step 2, sentence 2. What do you do and how it benefits them? This is really, really important. A lot of times, people start talking about, like, I have this feature, it visualizes data. I know because I used to say that. And it delivers business insights and customer development, networking, business. It doesn't really mean anything to them, so try and be really precise. So we're trying to make sharing research with your colleagues easier, or something like that, right? So a little bit more precise, a little bit more action-oriented, how you're going to make their life better, and what you want from them as well. And then, like, very specific call to action. Try and make it time-specific so that they feel like they have to respond. Like, you know, if it's Friday today and you say you want to talk to them on Tuesday, they might feel obliged to respond before Tuesday. So that's good for you. And so, at a high level, short, easy to read, definitely no jargon. So none of the, like, really catchphrase words that a lot of us like to use. So how should you talk to your users? So this is what your users will like, the face they'll give you if you go in and just talk about all your features. They're going to be very upset with you because it doesn't really matter to them, right? They're not going to be able to tell you anything insightful. They're going to be upset. You really want to focus on their problem, right? So happy Mark versus upset Mark. We'll do that one more time. There's upset Mark. There's happy Mark. Okay. So you want them to feel like you're trying to make their life easier. So if this is a 20-minute, 30-minute conversation, spend the first 10 minutes just really getting them to explain to you how they experience whatever problem you're trying to solve. It'll also help you focus the conversation about how you talk about your product or your idea. Step 3, when should I talk to my users? So I've a handy checklist. We check the now box because right now is a really good time before you have anything. So start learning about your users even before you start building anything, because it's also a really good way to start developing these customer relationships, help that you focus your product on building something that users will truly love, and even build a community of people you can continuously go back to for feedback. So how do I get a user? Use a 3-sentence email template. How should I talk to them? Conversation should be about their problems, not your product. And the last one, when should I do this? Now is probably a good time. So with that, I will take questions. I hope you found that useful. Go start a startup. It's fun. questions? All right, I'm off the hook. That's fantastic. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so SteadfastBeta is a user research platform. We help companies understand what their users want. So what we're trying to do is build something that's like what Slack is for talking to your teammates. We're trying to build that for talking to your customers. So we're trying to build a product that will help introduce you to early adopters from whatever your target market is, give you the platform to share your prototypes, to share your designs, to schedule phone calls, all that kind of stuff, all in one easy messaging application. And that way, it's a lightweight way for your users to communicate with you where they don't have to feel like they're taking time out of their day, there's no back and forth, and all that sort of stuff. So really trying to make it really easy for users to help you. That's sort of what we do. Or what we're trying to do, I should say. Yeah?
The B2B context, can you talk about how you get users to talk about their problems without having a product?
Yeah, so how do you get users to talk about their problem before you have a product? You should just ask them to how they do X, right? Like it's really not that hard. Like when I go in and talk to, so I'm learning how to talk to companies that are enterprise companies, because I don't know anything about enterprise companies. So the way I do that right now is like I basically follow that template and I just say like, hey, I really want to know how you guys do customer validation, or I really want to know more about how you do this. I'm trying to make something that will make your life easier, basically, more or less. Obviously that's kind of generic, but it's easier to just answer it or just send that email out and say like, tell me about this. Often they're nice people, so they'll take it. Yeah.
At first I thought you were actually going to their office and doing this. Even for the email, how do you get their contact information?
How do you get their contact information? I don't know. There's a lot of great blog posts on this. You can try like first name dot last name at company.com or whatever it is, or then first letter dot last name and then first name underscore last name. You just go through it. Like there's only like about 10 combinations, so good luck with that.